In today's video, we're diving into shocking evidence that reveals questionable actions by UK police officers exposing troubling double standards. At a recent celebration in Manchester, we witnessed something that raises serious concerns about policing in the UK. And this is just the beginning. Before we get into it, don't forget to like and subscribe to stay informed and join our growing community. First, let's talk about what happened in Manchester. A large celebration took place to honor Pakistan's cultural heritage. At first glance, it might seem like a typical cultural event, but what stood out was the presence of Manchester police officers. Yes, our law enforcement, who are supposed to maintain order and uphold the law, were seen dancing with the attendees, enjoying Arabic music and waving flags. Now this begs the question, aren't these the same police officers who are tasked with keeping the peace? Instead of ensuring law and order, here they were, laughing, smiling, and dancing like it was a party. You can see the police fully engaged in the celebration, but is this what we expect from impartial law enforcement? This brings us to the issue of two-tier policing. Why is there leniency in some situations while others are dealt with more harshly? And if you think this is bad, you haven't seen what's happening at Marble Arch in London. At Marble Arch, a massive crowd has taken over, and the scene is strikingly different from what we expect in the UK. The crowd, dressed head to toe in black, evokes images of another country entirely. This gathering reflects how mass immigration is altering the face of our nation, and it goes beyond just the clothing. According to a YouGov survey from August 2016, 57% of Britons supported banning the burqa in public, yet these kinds of scenes are becoming more common in our cities. So why are we seeing these changes? Why are public spaces being taken over in this way? This isn't just a gathering, it's about the erosion of our cultural identity and the impact of mass immigration. It raises a fundamental question. Is this the Britain we want to live in? We're witnessing a shift where our public spaces, our communities, and even our police are being influenced by external forces that may not align with traditional British values. What's even more alarming is how this all reflects a broader issue of double standards in law enforcement. While the police in Manchester are actively participating in cultural celebrations, they enforce strict measures on other groups and events. Imagine if a different cultural or political group held a gathering. Would the police be dancing and joining in? Probably not. As we've seen time and time again, officers tend to uphold strict rules in other situations, sometimes to the point of being unreasonable. But when it comes to specific communities, it seems like there's a different set of rules. What we're seeing at Marble Arch is a clear example of how public spaces in our cities are being occupied by groups whose values may not represent the majority of the population. This isn't just about attire or cultural practices, it's about the clash of principles. Mass immigration is bringing in not just people, but also customs that are transforming our public spaces. And it makes you wonder, if this were a different group, would the police be acting the same way? We need to ask serious questions about how public spaces are being used and whether the police are truly impartial in their actions. When one group dominates an area to this extent, it can lead to feelings of exclusion for others who see their cultural standards being overshadowed. So what can we do about it? The first step is to be aware. We need to continue the conversation and speak up about these issues. If you feel like your concerns aren't being heard, you're not alone. The more we talk about it, the harder it becomes for those in power to ignore us. Let us know what you think in the comments. Are these incidents a sign of larger problems in policing and public spaces, or just isolated events? Keep the conversation going. And remember, like and subscribe to stay updated on stories that matter.